Good morning, everybody. It's about 7 a.m. and I'm recording this video on the spot. I'm picking beans. So, I want to share how 2025 is going while I pick beans. And this is probably on my YouTube channel. This is what I'm looking for. I feel like I haven't posted there in a while. Just realized I'm not using my microphone, so I really hope you guys can hear me. Should I can give me a microphone? I don't want it to be too serious because I want it to be as spontaneous as possible. One of the things I tried doing this year was I tried becoming more consistent. Alright, I tried doing that. I started the year saying that I wanted to reach 7,000 followers on YouTube. I didn't reach 7,000 followers. I think I wanted to reach 10,000 followers on Instagram. Well, I passed 1,000. So, hear me. And also for my podcast page on Instagram, I think I wanted to reach like 5,000. I didn't reach up to 500. We'll do better. But some of the things I'm grateful for this year, I posted more videos on my YouTube channel this year, and I'm grateful for that. This year also, I did a lot more work-wise. So for those of you who may not be aware, I have a job I actually do, and my job can be quite demanding. But in spite of that, I still want to be able to, and I really like my job. It's not let me keep my 9 to 5. I mean, I might something. Hopefully, that's the dream of every 95 to quit their 95. But for me, I like the structure it gives, right? But at the same time, I also still want to ensure that I'm doing what I want to do for my podcast. And so my plan for next year is to see how much more I can build upon what I'm doing, and also maybe go back to the basics. So when I first started my podcast way back in 2021, I said it was solely audio. So all I did 2021, 2022 was audio. Right. And I was gaining traction. And then I was just kind of just because I wanted to talk. Right. Quite sadly, we all know how that story went. But I want to try doing some audio again because I realized that I might not always be available to do video. And one of the things I think I can tell you guys, right? One of my goals for next year is to work on at least two major series. One of them has to do with history, Nigerian and African history, and the probability of that being audio only is very high. I'm still doing a lot of research on that, so fingers crossed. But I'm definitely going to be needing recommendations from everyone about that. And second series, I'll let you know once it's still in the cooler. It's still warming up. Well, yeah. Also this year, I got to meet some really wonderful people this year. Right. I got to travel. Okay, so for work, I got to travel out of Lagos. I traveled to like 4 different states in Nigeria, and there were experiences. At some point, I felt terribly sick. Excuse me, in a place where I knew no one. But God was with me, so that's one thing I would say for this year. I got to meet really, really amazing people this year. This year, I also got to strengthen friendships with some people who I was previously friends with, but I did not know that I was friends with. Somebody's giving side eye now, right? I got to strengthen my friendships much more this year, and I'm so grateful for that. This year, I also got to, like I said, I got to meet really good people this year, and there is nothing as beautiful as having people in your corner. Right? It's nothing as beautiful as knowing that you have one or two. There were parts where I felt, they're never going to lie. Right? But I still knew that in spite of that feeling, I was not alone. Right. And I think that was really good. Also this year, I got to join an amazing podcast called That's What She Said. I'm actually wearing their top. Yeah, that's what she said. And I applied and I was selected, and it was a huge one for me because this year, God, I got a lot of rejection. I got a lot of rejection this year. At some point, I was like, maybe I shouldn't even bother applying again. But then I remember something that one of my friends Phil said is like, just keep applying. Right. And so when the opportunity for this came around, in fact, I was on a work trip when I got the call that I had gotten, and I was like, "Hey, you guys actually picked me! Oh my god!" So yeah, it was an amazing experience. Got to meet again another amazing set of ladies from South Africa, Kenya. It was good. One thing about myself is that I am very big on. I beat myself a lot in terms of I am harsh on myself than most people. So it's like if you ever want to like I don't think there's anything that anybody wants to come and tell me that I've not told myself already before. So counting my wins, I have realized that it's something that is pretty hard for me to do. But I want to try to be better at that. Right. So January, what am I most grateful for in January? In January, I got to experience what it's like to do things on my own, work wise. And that was a very good experience for me. All right. I would just say this randomly, but having a mentor in whatever career or whatever it is that you do, or a profession career, having someone who is slightly ahead of you and then they're actually providing insight and help is so underrated. Like it's so like having a good mentor, line manager is so vastly underrated. February, in January I also recorded a podcast. And I had one of my friends travel down for that podcast, and I enjoyed it. The title was on feminism and the danger of a single side story. I enjoyed that so much. February, I recorded another podcast. February, I traveled to states, and I also recorded a podcast on love. Valentine's Day thing, and it was such an enjoyable one. If you're a lover girl, you might want to check that out. So March, again, grateful for which English should I use now? For March, I'm really grateful for strength and patience because March tested me a lot. But in March, I was also able to record a podcast with one of my really amazing friends. She's a lawyer, she works in entertainment law, and then we got to talk about how work, what she does, what exactly that entails, and how she came about that. And I think that was just a really beautiful episode, especially because I think her work is very interesting, and for many people, there's a lot to gain from that. April, I took a break in April. I went to one of my friends, and my friend took me to her mom's house in another state, in Nigeria, and I just logged out, and that was so beautiful because I needed that. I needed that. May was also a pretty quiet month. I had to travel again in May. And I did record a podcast in May. I met someone in the state I traveled to. I traveled to northern Nigeria, and I met a very, very amazing person. We became friends. We recorded a podcast together on the spot, and then I lost that. God, it pained me so much. It pained me so much because we had such beautiful conversations, and then I lost that, and that was quite painful. But, yeah, it's one of those things. June came, June, July, August. I was battling the same battles. I was fighting the same battles. There was plenty things going on. I was trying my best to put out content as much as I could, but there was just a lot going on. And in the background, right, I was having multiple conversations trying to see how much more I could put out content, but sadly nothing was able to materialize. You know, schedules, arranging schedules, all of that. And then coupled with the fact that I had a work trip coming up, and then there was just a lot. So I wasn't able to do so much June, July, August. But for those 3 months, I am grateful for people because in all of the battles that I was facing those 3 months, I had good people who I could call. I'm forgetting I'm picking the beans, good people who I could call, and then I could share some of the problems and issues I was facing. Towards the end of, I was still applying, you know, all of those months, and towards the end of August was when I got into That's What She Said podcast. It was amazing. By the way, they released my episode just about last week, I think the week before Christmas, so you may want to check it out. We had some really beautiful conversations on you know, what it means to be radical feminist, what it means to be a woman in leadership positions, and you know, it was some really, really interesting conversations. You should check them out. So basically, it took over the whole of my September, and I was so glad. I was so glad that it did. October, I was really, really grateful for, and then I met some new friends. Have I mentioned it? Okay, yes. And then October was a month where I needed to rest again. And so I did not really do so much in October. But October again, I started planning for an event that I wanted to have. And it's an event that I wanted to have since June, by the way. Books and Conversation, the storytelling event. So, as an offshoot of the Jesus Conversations podcast, I'm sort of building Books and Conversations, which is a storytelling event. And the idea is to have storytellers come together, and then we have a specific theme where we have conversations on it, and then people get to share insights, people get to discuss. At some point, we get to even watch a snippet of one of my podcast episodes and just have discussions around that. And it's also something I like to do on my birthday, sort of as a way to close out the year, as it were, for the podcast. And I got to do that this year. I did not do it alone. Again, shout out to really amazing people. I did not do that alone. I had friends who turned up and they were like, you know, we'll plan this for you. And we planned it. And then, do you know the most amazing part of it? I had 3 different brands sponsored. I mean, it was just the second time. The first time I did was last year, and the first time was really rushed. I did all the planning in 2 days. This time I tried to do the planning in 2 weeks, and I had 3 brands sponsors. So shout out to CC Hub. CC Hub has been a very crucial part of my career journey, and I'm so super grateful for them. Shout out to Kisoli Foods. Yes, they just called me up and they're like, you know, we heard you have an event. I want to sponsor, and everybody went home with some of their products, and it was super amazing. And also shout out to Fruit Natural. Fruit Natural is a brand that I've been working with in the last 6 months. Yeah, about 6 months. Where we get to shoot content, we get to shoot videos. Yes, this year I did my acting debut. Oh my goodness. Oh jeez, you guys. And to get to shoot like shorts and Instagram videos. And I have been working with them as a brand ambassador, and they're like, oh, you know, we're going to sponsor you, and it was such an amazing time. Yeah, so that's basically how October and November went. And December has just been a very chill month, honestly. Work took the most part of it as well, I'm not going to lie. But the last 2 weeks after work, I was just trying to round up the year, and this is the first video I'm recording for myself and for my podcast in a while. So thank you very much, 2025. Thank you for all the beautiful things that you brought. Thank you for all the beautiful people that you brought along the way. I'm super grateful for how the year turned out. I mean, there are a lot more things I wanted to, but this is a win conversation. Let's not go into what did happen, what did not happen, right? And thank you if you're watching this, for tuning in and for watching it. I think I'm done by the way. I think I need to do this, so I can do this again. But thank you for still subscribing to my YouTube channel and for still supporting me. I appreciate it. And I hope to do better next year. I hope to build more next year. I hope to put out much more content that people find valuable. That has always been my dream and my goal, to ensure that whatever it is I do with my platform is something that any other person who is either watching or consuming it in any form will find it valuable. And on this note, I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy new year. There's actually a Merry Christmas. I really wanted to shoot this video. Okay, let me just do a little rant. I really wanted to shoot this video. I have one beautiful light here, right? And Merry Christmas. And my goal was to shoot this video in front of it. But I have ordered a tripod from Orano in the last 1 month. In fact, what am I saying? It's already going to 5 to 6 weeks now. And I've not gotten it. And you've just been apologizing in my DMs. And it's like, why? Oh, either ways, I'm hoping that I'm able to close out on that, and the next time I really do you guys to be with my new tripod. Because all I have right now is my phone standing behind a cup. I'm thankful for this beautiful table. But yeah, that's it. I wish you a very beautiful 2026. Be sure to rest well and be sure to have a wonderful day. Goodbye, everybody. And I'm not editing this video, by the way. That's okay.